Hi everybody, it's Earl from Earl Widmeyer. In today's video we're going to look at the GP38-2 number 4713 and the things that I want to do to modify it. Hope you like and subscribe, and please leave a comment.
And then the last thing I wanted to just touch on this is, like I said, I saw 1437 lashed up with 4713, a GP38-2. And I've been watching for it to see if I could find one and see one of that kind of thing. And I finally came across a guy who was selling a newer Athearn's Ready to Roll RTR one. And this is, here she is, right? And I've got it gutted right now. I just got the chassis apart, that kind of stuff. 4713 is who I saw it lashed up with, and that's actually in my one video of My True Love, I believe. And then when the two of them together, this is how I saw them when we first saw them together. And what I just can't believe is that it's the same set of numbers, just in a different run, in a different order. So I thought that was really funny when I first saw it. So, but anyways, this Athearn's Ready to Roll one has some better details than a blue box, because it's got applied handrails all the way up. It's got a rail up top of the filler cap. And then the handrails and grab irons are plastic, but yeah, that's what it is. One thing this does have, though, it's the old one with the big notch in the plow. So that's something I have to modify for sure and make it right. Wade was telling me, and then I was looking at videos. I got a video of 1437. He's still out running around, but his headlights are down here in the nose. So that has to be patched out, and actually his bell is hanging off right here. So that's a big change, and I don't know if I'm up for that. But the other thing too is that it doesn't have the a radiator shroud, or there's a shroud sitting right here, or it's a driver's side or something like that. It's on the other side. I can't remember. And there's another detail on the roof somewhere. I can't remember. But, oh, yeah, well. And see, this is actually an American engine, because Wade had pointed out that Canadian engines, the footwells, are actually straight up, whereas the American ones, they stagger inward. So that's the difference there. You can see that, right? And whereas Canadian ones, if you look at 1437, you can see how the steps are straight up and down. So yeah. Oh, don't do that. But yeah, if I kind of find myself a little bit over my head with making the modifications or doing anything, I may ask Wade to maybe help me with it. But the engine and that is just a plain old one with the big plate, steel plate running across the top of it. So it's a pretty easy engine to convert into DCC and sound. It's just getting all the details right. So I know I won't be able to do all the details, but if I let Wade at it and he has time, it might turn out to be a really nice engine. But yeah, that's one thing that's on the go for me. All right. Well, it's down the line, and I just acquired it and looked at it and was thinking, yep, this is what I want to do with it anyways. All right. See you guys later. So looking at the GP38-2 that I have for 4713. One of the things I was thinking about when I talked in the last one was just some of the details that were of the Athearn's engine that I got from off of online, and that was this one right here. And like I said, that engine basically was just an Athearn's blue box with added detail, the extra grab wire, handrails and stuff like that, a couple extra little things in that. And you know, the body and that were pretty good. And I got to thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, I thought I had a couple other engines. Necessarily speaking, the GP38-2W, the Canadian Nationals. And I actually had two of them, and I had them from a while back. And both of them, well, not both of them, but one of them had some issues, and the other one it just wasn't running very well. And me and Adam, we were figuring that this was probably a bit of a problem with these older runs. We ran into a couple of different mechanical issues with the older runs of some of these Athearn engines, and these were like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. 5 years ago, maybe. And but anyways, I picked up, I believe I picked up 4789 first, and that was just a regular DCC ready engine. And I had, 1 minute please. It had its regular old Athearn's motherboard with a 9-pin decoder plug-in. And so there was the decoder board, the 9-pin plug-in, right, with an 8-pin other secondary socket, right? And when I bought it, I ended up putting in a Digitrax 123 in it, right? A DH123, right? Well, we learned very quickly that the Digitrax decoders are, even though I have a Digitrax system, I don't think the Digitrax decoders are very well. But anyways, that's nor here nor there. So anyways, I was having problems with that engine running properly. And so I kind of mothballed it. The ditch lights weren't necessarily coming on. I didn't know why. And then regardless, I came across 4775. I do believe, again, I got that at Otter Valley when Lauren was doing some estate sales. And this one actually had sound. It was a DCC sound unit. So I was like, right on. I don't have to, convert the other one. It's all good. I just go with that one. Got that one home, and that was 4775 right here. And got it home, and it ran okay, and then it started having issues. The one ditch light wasn't working. It would jerk around a little bit, that kind of stuff, and this and that and another thing. So I kind of mothballed them. I didn't care. I'd put them away. I actually have them in one of my pictures that they were all set up at one point. And then Adam had another engine. I do believe it was Adam, and it had truck issues. We don't know what it was. So somehow it was getting poor electrical pickup. And so we ended up pulling 4775. I don't know why I picked that, but we pulled the trucks off of 4775 and we swapped them out to that other engine. And then I fiddled around with those trucks afterwards, trying to see if I could get a better electrical connection on them. And that would be this guy right here is what I was doing. So one thing that Athearn's went from, this is the GP38, the old style, the blue box basically. And if you look at it, when I zoom in here, and then when you look at the assembly, these old truck styles, right here that they had, the old truck styles, right there. And then the old assembly where they had the big plate that ran across right here. And then the wheels themselves had a little brass nylon nut or brass nut that went right in between the wheels, and that connected to the plate. That plate went up, and it was just a direct power hookup. And anybody who knows Athearn's Blue Box, that's what they are. And then they have the old connector clip that ran across the top. That's what made these engines so easily modifiable, because you take that off, isolate the motor, put in your own DCC, and away you go. But the newer ones, they ended up going, and Athearn still does it, and a lot of makers still make them. They make these trucks with the, let me zoom out. They make these trucks with the with this connector, this wiper inside. Now, mind you, if you look at it, I've actually added. I got it upside down. The one thing that Athearn did first off right away was that the wire itself was connected with one of those black connector clips. So that's a poor connection. And then the trucks themselves, they have to literally go right inside. They have to go right inside this section. There we go. The wheels have to go right inside there, and then the shaft of the wheel has to run around that and somehow stay in there and stay in contact, right? And so both wheels do that. So I was actually trying to better that contact by putting a little wire on here and making it touch the wheels, giving it a wiper kind of motion. That failed. That didn't work. So anyways, that truck ended up being garbaged and nothing I could do with it, right? The second truck, I didn't pull it apart, so I believe it's still running good. I just took the belly off. I just took the belly off just so I could take a look at the guts and that stuff, and it actually rolls really nice. No movement, no impingement. So this might be a saving. I might be able to save this truck and use it as a replacement. But the other one's garbage. I've chewed it up. And that being said, going back to looking at these bodies and what I wanted to do with 4713. And remember I said that the 4713, it has this notch badly in the nose, and the step wells are pretty much on an angle. That's an old style engine. That's an American style. Well, both of the GP38-2Ws, they are Canadian versions. So they have the things that I actually want to go on this engine. But so one of the things is the straight step wells on all ends, and then it's also got the bell on the head end right here. And if you can see it, I got those snow shields. There's the snow shields on the sides of it like that, right? On either side of it. If you can see the radiator fan. So about the extra details too, everything is open. Like the exhaust ports are open. This little radiator hatch here is open, and then the fans too. They're open with a fan detail inside there. It's got the correct rear end. Sorry, see if we can focus on that. The correct rear end with the marker lights and the vertical headlight, or tail light anyways. I got plow on the back. Has an anti-climber. Oh, on the back? No anti-climber, just the step. Thought there was an anti-climber. Anyways. And then this one here on the front has the anti-climber with the ditch lights. Okay? So right there, with having the two of these and in pieces and kind of sitting around, you know what I'm thinking. I'm going to chop this up. So I am literally, without going and buying this style of the GP nose and cab, I got two of them right here where basically the cab, this whole cab comes off as one and exposes the sill plate and the box underneath. Yes, there's an interior in it and everything. Right? There's an interior in there. You can't really see into it. The windows are fixed, but they don't open. But there's a lot of little details. But that whole cab is one piece. I can take that off. And if I take that off, that'll give me a whole sill to be able to graph the nose of this GP38 and the cab and the nose, because I'll point it out here in a minute, and put them on this one. And that'll give me a whole running chassis and a much better detailed body, along with the solid coupler box and the straight wells, the straight foot wells. All I'll have to do is transfer over some of the handrails that are here on this one onto that one. And also even the, what I was talking about before, the other detail was the horn. The horn is on the back instead of on the nose up here. So, yeah. So basically I was looking at the two of them, and then if I were to take this one and the cab itself here, that comes off, but the bottom end of it, it's just a box right here. So the bottom end of it and all this nose right here is all molded onto there. So basically I'm going to take the cab off carefully and then I'm going to cut the front end right here, and then I'm going to carefully grind away all of this section, everything around, and take it all off so that I have just the nose section, and I'm going to graft that back onto this guy right here. And the underbelly of these, they're meant, the openings that are, you say, oh, well, you won't have the right opening and everything. And it's like, but actually, the underbelly of this, the sill plate, is actually meant for a nosed engine anyways. It's just got the Canadian wide cab on it. So when I put the nosed engine on there, the nosed cab, it should cover up everything that is sitting there anyway. So when I take this cab off, of here, I should actually have sill plate underneath there that's supposed to be sitting in the right spot. One of the things I don't have is that, so I'll have to change that. But then I can take details. I can take the bell off. I can maybe even pop this headlight off because it's supposed to be a separate piece. And then I can use any of the grab irons. I can use some of these wipers for the front of it. And yeah, and then I can keep my ditch lights. And talking about the ditch lights, that'll be another thing. So the 4775, I ended up tearing it apart, trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with these ditch lights. So I ended up pulling the anti-climber off because the ditch lights were in the housing of the anti-climber, and then to get the lights out of them, you had to snake them through there. And you can't see it in a good video, so I'm going to take a picture of it from the other one. But yeah, so I pulled all that apart, and it actually came apart pretty cleanly, actually. I was surprised how well that came apart. And then the one other thing is that, you know, on 4713, I don't have these classification lights, but oh well, it is what it is. I might try to dot them in, I don't know. But besides that, these engines are going to be perfect owners for it. And they're going to say, oh, you're going to wreck up all these two engines. Well, they're already in a wreck state. One of them has literally got no good drive. And then the other one is pretty good for some of the things. It's just really the details that I want to pull off of these. They've been sitting in the boxes for, the years that I said. So there's no skin off my back here for if I tear these guys up and do something else that I want to do. And it'll give me better detail. Basically, the 4713 even had the tabs that he locates onto his thing. Two of them were broken. So really, all I needed is the cab. All I need is the cab off of him. And I can graft them onto the other ones. And I think that's a perfect fit. And, using my ichrometer, they look like they're pretty much the same fit. Just they're going to match right up where they're going to be. It's kind of cool. Actually, I'll be able to use the roof detail, the power line or the air line that goes to the bell. And I'll be able to take the firecracker antenna whip, whatever it's called, put it on there. My air horn's already in the right spot. The rear end is exactly what I need it to be. So I just need to take a couple pictures or to take a couple looks at the pictures I got of 4713 and see what else might be missing. Excuse me. But the nose for the headlight, that's going to be still the big thing. That I got two of these engines that I can pull four of those headlights off if I really need to try to get the detail to work, and then plugging up the one at the top there. These ones here, you go, oh, well, you had all the lighting is in there and everything. Why are you going to pull them out? Well, I think that in my haste of doing things and checking things, I ended up burning out some of these lights anyways. So I'm going to end up going into micro LEDs anyways to replace them. These two right here, I did them just before I started the video, and I put it on my 9-volt and tried it, and I saw them go pop really quick, and it's like, I just burnt those out. I'm reading in the manual, it says to use a 1.5 volt battery, so that's probably a AAA. And then that's how you test these light bulbs. And it's like, yeah, I put a 9-volt to it. Of course it popped. No wonder. So in the background there is the chassis to 4775. I don't know if you can see it or not, or if it shows up well, but the engine, for some reason, although when I put a 9-volt on it, it runs really well, it's got this oxidization all over the chassis. I don't know what it was doing. It runs okay. It seems to run okay, so I'm not going to fiddle with it too much more. I'm going to leave it as is, and maybe I might have another answer for that guy. Maybe not. But the one with sound, we'll come back. I'll close out this video there, and I'll come back to the other one, showing you a couple things that it has.
Stay tuned for part 2. This is Earl, signing off.